Topics, as I said, are usually not very differentiated, but they are important because it invites that audience in. And then how do you uniquely address that very topic so that your audience is intrigued? Now, when we're working with TEDx speakers, identifying, crafting, and refining their ideas are the most important work we do. I mean, after all, when you think about the TED and TEDx brand, their tagline is ideas worth sharing. So ideas are pretty important. So what's your idea? Have you given it some thought? Now, when we're working with people who are maybe going to be in the TEDx world, or perhaps are going to be on a professional stage, or even in front of a boardroom, we always start by working on creating that one sentence answer to the question of what's your idea. Now, when I'm working or when I'm presenting and giving talks, my core idea stays really close to being the same thing. It is about creating a diversity of thought leadership by helping experts and changemakers step into their differences so that they can use their unique thinking to convey their knowledge with clarity, confidence, and impact so that they can contribute to the co-creation of a resilient and inclusive future. Now, what you just heard was actually a little framework that we use, and it's the combination of a what, a how, and a why. The what is the topic. So, in my case, that topic was a diversity of thought leadership. And the reality is, there's lots of people who talk about thought leadership, talk about diversity, and even bring those two things together. Topics are not meant to be differentiated. They are meant to, though, bring the audience in because there's a lot of people who want to hear about diversity or thought leadership or the combination of the two. So the what is your topic. And what it does is it indicates to your audience what you're talking about. Now, your how, that's where you come in because your how is your point. It's the way in which you activate that topic in a way that no one else can. You use your differences to actually create that how. So in my case, the how is about using your differences and your unique perspective to convey your knowledge. Now, together, the what and the how for you as the speaker may feel pretty complete. Yes, for me, a diversity of thought leadership by using your differences and your unique perspective to convey your knowledge. That's the core of my idea. And if it was just about me, then I could stop there. But it isn't. It's actually about you, my audience. You probably hear that and go, oh, that's interesting, but not all that compelling. What you want to know is why do I think that's important? What is it about conveying your knowledge using your unique perspective that has me lit up, that makes me passionate? And that's my why. And my why is about co-creating a resilient and inclusive future. Your why is where you connect with your audience. It's where you are building a trust and a relationship with that audience through the lens of your what and how. So let's dive in a little bit. What's your topic? What is it that you want to speak about? Topics, as I said, are usually not very differentiated, but they are important because it invites that audience in. And then how do you uniquely address that very topic so that your audience is intrigued? When we think of the components of that idea, the what, the how, and the why, we're actually building a sentence. And you heard me say it in my idea. And those components are really, think about any sentence. What do sentences have? They have nouns, they have verbs, they have adjectives, they have adverbs, and they come together in such a way that makes them compelling. So what we did is we took the what, the how, and the why, and we turned it into a sentence. So your what are your nouns. These are typically things. So think of your what as the noun in your sentence. Your how are your verbs and your adverbs, because your how is how you activate that what. So use the verbs and adverbs in your how. And then your why. Now, this is where you connect with your audience. So, this is where your adjectives and your emotional language live. And when you use it in that way, you're actually creating a sentence. So, we built a little construct, a framework that we use with all our clients to help them hear their own ideas said out loud. And it sounds like this. Today, I'm going to talk to you about what, and I'll show you how, because why. And when you do that, what now you're doing is you're hearing that idea said outside of your own brain. Because when you take that construct and you write down your idea, today I'm going to talk to you about what, and I'll show you how. Now there's your point, because why, there's your impact statement. Now, what you're hearing is your own idea. It's forcing you to think of it in that way. You can take that written idea and give it to somebody else and have them read it to you. And this is one of the things that I think is incredibly important because you see, when you hear your idea said outside of yourself, outside of your brain, outside of your own knowing, somebody reads it to you, your brain hears it as something outside of itself, and it's no longer filling in the blanks. It's no longer trying to build in all the missing pieces that were happening in your head. And suddenly you hear your own idea and you think, oh, no, that's not quite what I want to say. Or, oh, it's missing something. So writing it down and having somebody else say it back to you is essential in the process of building your idea. So now, how is your idea coming along? Are you ready to write it down? Are you ready to use that little construct? Are you hoping that this year or maybe next, you're going to be walking onto that stage with the big red circle right at the center, speaking to an audience who is hanging on your every word? Well, if you are and you want some help building out this idea so that you can apply for maybe a TEDx event or others, then check out what we've got going on.